Every dream begins with a desire, but desire alone is like a seed without sunlight. It needs something more, something invisible, yet powerful enough to awaken life within it. That force is faith. Welcome to AudioVerse Listening Library, where every word awakens the power within. In our previous chapter, we learned that desire is the starting point of all achievement, the spark that ignites the mind. But today, we step into the deeper mystery, the bridge that carries that desire into reality. Because without faith, desire remains a wish, and with faith, it becomes destiny. Let's begin Chapter 2, Faith, the visualization of and belief in the attainment of desire. Napoleon Hill teaches that faith is the bridge between our thoughts and their physical manifestation. It is not just a religious idea. In the context of success, faith is a mental state of certainty, created and strengthened through repetition, imagination, and emotion. Number 1. Faith is born from autosuggestion. Hill explains that faith doesn't appear automatically. It's built, like a muscle, through repeated affirmations of your desire and belief. Every time you affirm your goals with conviction, even before they exist, you are planting the seeds of faith in your subconscious. The subconscious mind then starts to accept those beliefs as reality and acts accordingly to make them true. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Number 2 is the subconscious mind obeys repetition. Whenever we repeat to ourselves, whether positive or negative, becomes part of our belief system. If you say, "I can't do this," your subconscious accepts that as truth. If you say, "I am capable and success is coming," your subconscious accepts that instead. This is why Hill emphasizes autosuggestion, speaking, writing, and visualizing your goal daily until your mind begins to believe it instinctively. Faith and desire together act like a command to the subconscious mind. Number 3. Emotion gives power to thought. Faith is emotionalized belief. Thoughts alone are weak unless mixed with emotion, especially emotions of love, desire, or faith itself. Hill warns that negative emotions like fear or doubt can also create faith, but in failure. So the same mental law works both ways. The key is to control which emotions you associate with your thoughts. Number 4. The mind attracts what it believes. The chapter explains a subtle universal truth. We attract circumstances that are in harmony with our dominant thoughts. Faith acts as a magnet. If you truly believe in your success, you naturally draw ideas, people, and opportunities that align with it. Your inner conviction becomes an invisible force shaping your external world. Number 5 is the method to build faith. Hill gives a practical system for creating faith. 1. Fix in your mind a clear picture of your goal. 2. Write it down and keep it visible. 3. Repeat it aloud daily with emotion and belief. 4. Visualize yourself already in possession of it. 5. Act as if you already have faith, even when you don't, because acting in faith builds real faith. Through this disciplined repetition, the conscious and subconscious minds start to work in harmony. Number 6. Faith transforms desire into its physical equivalent. Desire is just the spark. Faith turns it into movement. When desire is believed deeply enough, it sets in motion unseen forces. Your mind, your energy, and the opportunities around you all start aligning with your belief. In simple words, faith is the activator. Without it, desire remains a wish. With it, desire becomes an unstoppable inner command. Deep insights and analysis. Faith, the chemistry of mind and emotion. 1. Faith is not belief, it's emotional certainty. Most people confuse belief with faith. Belief is a thought you agree with. Faith is a thought you feel. Hill's insight is that the subconscious does not understand logic. It understands emotion. When you mix a thought with deep emotion, it becomes alive in the subconscious mind. This emotionalized thought begins to shape decisions, energy levels, and even the coincidences you attract. Faith is when an idea stops being something you hope for and becomes something you already know will happen. Keep tuning with AudioVerse Listening Library to dive deep and understand this in better way. So next comes point number 2. The subconscious mind, your invisible partner. Hill saw the subconscious mind as a bridge between desire and reality. It cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what is repeated with conviction. That means every affirmation, every visualization, every emotional declaration becomes a blueprint. The subconscious then activates creativity, intuition, and external circumstances to match that inner image. This is not mystical. It's psychological conditioning. You are literally programming your mental operating system. Faith is the code that instructs your inner system what to create next. Number 3, repetition is spiritual engineering. Hill's method of autosuggestion, repeating affirmations with feeling, is not superstition. It's brain science. Modern neuroscience confirms that repetition plus emotion equals neural rewiring. Every time you affirm your success with conviction, you're etching new neural pathways in your brain. You are teaching your nervous system to expect and seek proof of what you believe. That's why consistent self-suggestion transforms personality, confidence, and results. The mind becomes what it hears the most, especially what it hears from you. Next is number 4. Faith turns imagination into chemistry. When you imagine success with faith, your body releases chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, that create motivation and clarity. The brain begins to anticipate reward, and you start to act like someone who already owns that success. This is how faith translates thoughts into physical energy. It's not about forcing outcomes. It's about becoming the person for whom success feels natural. 5. The polarity of faith, positive and negative. Hill warns that faith is neutral. It can build empires or destroy confidence, depending on what you feed it. Fear is faith in failure. Doubt is faith in uncertainty. Worry is faith in negative imagination. The same mental power that creates miracles can also create misery if directed toward fear. So, the challenge is not whether you have faith. You already do. The question is, what are you placing your faith in? Number 6, the energetic law of belief. At the deepest level, Hill's teaching hints at a metaphysical truth. Reality mirrors consciousness. When faith becomes absolute, when you stop asking if it will happen and start feeling that it already has, you align with that version of reality. Life begins to organize around your certainty. It's not magic, it's resonance, the vibration of your inner state syncing with external events. You don't chase what you want, you become it and it finds you. Number 7. Building unshakable faith. Hill gives a clear system to strengthen faith. 1. Define your desire, clearly and in writing. 2. Affirm it daily with emotion. 3. Visualize it vividly, as if it's already yours. 4. Detach from doubt. Act from confidence, not fear. 5. Surround yourself with faith-based energy. People, books, sounds, and environments that reinforce your belief. Faith grows where it's fed, and withers where it's neglected. Here we listen. 5 subpoints or system to strengthen faith. Moving on to next, last but not the least, section number 8, The deeper truth, faith as creative vibration. At the heart of this chapter lies a universal message. Faith is the vibrational bridge between thought and creation. It's the invisible current that turns imagination into manifestation. When you operate in faith, you tune your consciousness to the frequency of what you desire, and that frequency attracts everything aligned with it. Every great achievement, every invention, every dream that became reality began as an idea charged with faith. Thought, backed by faith, becomes its own physical equivalent. Faith is not blind, it's visionary. It sees the end from the beginning. It's the power that whispers, "I already am what I seek." And in that quiet certainty, the universe begins its work. The essence of the chapter Hill wants the reader to understand one timeless principle: you become what you believe. Faith is not something you wait to feel. It's something you build through repetition, imagination, and emotion, until your mind accepts no other reality but success. So listen with me for a moment. Let's talk about something simple, yet powerful enough to reshape your entire life: faith. Not the kind that's only spoken in prayers or found in holy books, but the kind that quietly decides what happens in your career, your relationships, your health, your destiny. What faith really means. You see, faith is not about religion here. Hill is talking about a psychological faith, a deep inner certainty that says, "I know it will happen because I've already seen it inside me." Most people only believe when they see, but the successful ones, they see it inside first, and then reality adjusts to that vision. Think of it like this: if your mind were a garden, faith is the sunlight that makes the seeds of your desire grow. Without it, no matter how rich the soil is, nothing blossoms. Now here's something crucial. Faith doesn't appear on its own. It's built through repetition, imagination, and emotion. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're training your subconscious mind. When you say to yourself, "I'm not good enough," your mind quietly agrees. When you say, "I will find a way," your mind begins to search for proof. That's why Hill said, autosuggestion is the workshop of faith. You repeat a thought until it stops being a thought and becomes a belief. So if you want your faith to grow, speak the words of your future self every day until your subconscious starts saying, "Yes, that's who we are now." And when we talk about the law of repetition, it is more easy to understand this by simple example. Think about an athlete. They don't build muscle overnight. They build it through consistent repetition. Faith works exactly the same way. The more you affirm your vision with emotion, the more your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once the subconscious accepts something as true, it begins to reorganize your habits, your focus, and even the opportunities that appear in your life. You start noticing people, moments, and possibilities that were always there. You just weren't tuned to them before. But there's another layer. Words alone don't move mountains. Emotions do. Faith is not logic. Faith is feeling. When you repeat your affirmations, don't do it mechanically. Close your eyes. Visualize what it feels like to already have it. The relief, the joy, the confidence. That feeling charges your thought with power. It's like adding electricity to a circuit. That's when things start to move. This is called emotional power behind faith. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that faith has two faces, like a coin. Yes, exactly, this is what I said. I will tell you about the two faces of faith. Let me tell you something important. Faith is neutral. It's like fire. It can cook your food or burn your house. If you have faith in fear, you'll attract failure. If you have faith in your weakness, you'll keep proving yourself right. So the question is never, Do I have faith? You already do. The real question is, where have I placed my faith? Are you investing it in fear or in the belief that life can work in your favor? Modern science agrees with Hill's idea. When you imagine success vividly, your brain releases the same chemicals it would if it were actually happening. That's why elite athletes visualize before they perform. They are training their minds to expect victory. Faith, then, is a form of mental conditioning. You are teaching your brain to act, think, and decide as if success is inevitable. Have you ever noticed that when you're deeply confident, the world seems to cooperate with you? You meet the right people, the timing works, things click. That's the magnetic nature of faith. It doesn't force things to happen, it aligns you with them. It tunes your inner frequency to the reality you wish to experience. Faith is the energy that bridges what you dream and what you live. This is how faith changes your energy. So, let's repeat together in loud voice all the steps to strengthen faith. Hill's counsel can be turned into a daily practice. 1. Write your desire clearly. 2. Repeat it aloud, morning and night. 3. Feel the emotion as if it's already yours. 4. Refuse to dwell on doubt. 5. Surround yourself with voices and people who strengthen your belief. Remember, the mind becomes what it hears most, especially from your own voice. So, if you ever doubt yourself, pause, breathe, and ask, what am I teaching my mind to believe right now? Because every thought is a lesson to your subconscious, and one day that lesson will become your life. Faith is not a wish. It's a quiet agreement between your mind and your destiny. A whisper that says, I already am what I seek to become. Let this truth settle within you, and when you rise with the certainty that faith is already working, silently and faithfully, on your behalf. Take a deep breath and let this truth sink in. Faith is not a word. It's an atmosphere you live in. It's the unseen bridge that carries your desire from the mind into the world. Every thought you hold with emotion, every word you repeat with conviction is shaping that bridge right now. So before you move forward, pause and ask yourself, do I believe in my desire enough to let faith breathe life into it? Because faith is the quiet architect of all miracles. It takes the raw material of your longing and molds it into form, opportunity, and experience. And as Napoleon Hill reminds us, when faith and desire unite, nothing remains impossible. In our next chapter, we'll discover how faith is strengthened through the subtle art of auto-suggestion, the daily conversation between you and your subconscious mind. Until then, keep nurturing your belief. And remember, this is AudioVerse Listening Library, where every word awakens the power within.